contain profanity, obscenities, and very strong language, and is not intended for all audiences. If you're a clicker, black peddler, or trash content creator, you may be triggered. Alright, everyone. The long-awaited episode 4 is here with your two favorite, most hated content creators that you can find. The kings of trash talks themselves have united for another glorious episode so that other peasants may rage and reel like never before. I am your host, Fark, and join with my co-host, Funky the man, the myth, the legend himself. Funky, my guy, how are you doing?
I'm doing a lot better. We'll both, I guess, cover it, but I'm pretty sure I had COVID again. I had the flu. My wife got sick. My son got sick. Then you got sick, and it's been a little bit hard to get this episode off the ground, but here we are. So,
hey,
finally feeling good.
Just like any good news, they happen once a month, and we made it here. As Funky said it, yeah, it's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute since we produced one. We made it. Yeah. It's been a while, man, but always good to be back and glad to have you on the show. In terms of WoW, kind of to cut to the chase a little bit, have you been doing anything? Or maybe you want to share something with the audiences?
Yeah. I mean, just working on the Restoration Druid guide for all the tiers is basically the only thing I've been getting into. I had said 8 months ago in a post on YouTube that I was getting ready to retire altogether, and I'm there. The community, and it's the community. It's a lot of the stuff I'm seeing. I just don't have time to play. So, kind of made that announcement. Other than that, not really. I've been kind of just avoiding it for the most part, trying to stay away from it. Obviously, I heard that Wrath Classic was confirmed, and we're going to talk about that, obviously. But as far as WoW goes, no, I've been trying to stay away from it and just enjoy being away from it for a little while.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and obviously, working on a guide takes a lot of time, especially like if you're working full time. Actually committing to it may take more time than one might anticipate or even kind of comprehend. So it's kind of understandable when you say, yo, this guide I'm working on is taking this much time, and etc. Because I completely understand it from my point of view. Like, if I want to make a guide, and that's non-meme guide, right? Because there is because there is this guide that I made, which is kind of not guide really. It's the tier list, which is actually complete meme. I loved it. I had to kind of respond to the tier lists that community was making.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to respond to that, and that was kind of where that came from. There was too many complete trash, garbage tier lists, and I wanted to respond in a funny way, kind of in a comedic way, and kind of entertain all of these tier lists, because all of these people that have no idea how to approach a tier list. Like, first of all, something that you need to do for a tier list is you need to divide a section of pure DPS and then DPS plus support, aka hybrid. And what do they bring to the table? Like, you yourself, and I'm pretty sure you will back me up on this one. Like, I'm pretty sure you've used Shadow Priests and Elemental Shamans in past. Traditionally you would use them as more supportive role, right? When they need to support. Right, and that never is being addressed in those tier lists, simply because the creators of this tier list couldn't be more primitive. Calling them an apes is a massive compliment, a massive, humongous compliment for these people. And once again, bring it into reality. That's the title of this episode. On this part of the episode, in episode 5, we'll be covering the content creators. But shout out still on this one, we need, credit where credit is due. Shout out to all of those content creators who are full of it like nothing else in this world, pumping just complete garbage content, and people are eating it like it's McDonald's for breakfast, man. It is absolutely insane just how much garbage can be uploaded when when we have been given the gift as species, the gift of internet and the gift of being interconnected, I would have never expected so many actual apes to come out of the woodwork and upload factual trash. It is mind-boggling. It is astonishing. It is an achievement in its own, just how much garbage can be found on YouTube, on Twitch as well. I mean, Twitch WoW directory is garbage in its own, but like specifically on YouTube related to Wrath, it is insane. I don't know. Do you have any opinions you want to share on that point?
It's exactly that. You look at my favorite ones are well, Fark's only got so many views, or he's been doing this for this many years, and like somebody had said the other day, oh, Funky's he's been doing this 10 years and only got 3,000. It's like, who cares? Like the amount of viewership does not make you more right or more wrong. If that was the case, then everything that like a PewDiePie would say would just be the holy grail and the cat's ass, and we could never ever argue against him. Like that's insane to think that way. That is just pure insanity to think like that. So yeah, whenever I see these content creators or these people coming up with themes like that, it really just makes me laugh and like wonder, what in the hell are you guys thinking? Like this, like we've discussed in previous podcasts, the math is out there. This stuff has been theory crafted before. And now you got people who are making fun of the math. Oh, the math says this, so it must be right. Well, yeah, that's what the math says. That's what it's there for. Like, if we're getting to the point where we're denying math as a thing, I'm not kidding. People will think I'm joking. Like, oh, Funky, nobody says that, the math is wrong. No, they do. They seriously will go against the math, and they would play more with their feelings. And like I've said before, maybe that's more of the culture and society today, that we go base things more off feelings than facts. I don't know, but it's ridiculous, and how these people have these huge followings and why people allow them to do this stuff and make this content without ever calling them out. It's ridiculous. Like I mentioned the other day in the my Druid Discord that there was a guy who had called out Hamster Wheel, and he was saying about how hard Nax was, Nax 40 in vanilla, and the guy called him out. And this is mind you, this guy's a top 3 world player, whatever, etc. And he's like, where are the content creators at to call this BS out? He's like, where's, he goes through the list: Stay Safe, Esteban, Asmongold, etc. He's like, where is this at? And he's got the same question that I think you and I both ask each other quite a bit: is why is this content being allowed to breed like wildfire, these unsubstantiated claims? It's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it has to do with what a friend of mine said to me once, is Blizzard's shit salesman. It is what it is. It's you're small, you don't want to rustle anyone's jimmies, you don't want to make anyone your enemy, so you sell the product which Blizzard is selling as well. You ally yourselves with them, and you make these videos, you go into Twitch, you go into YouTube, and you're like, no, yeah, this is not nice, but hey guys, oh yeah, the boost, man, the boost is not that good, huh? We should yeah, man, the boost is not good. They really shouldn't release the boost like that, And then, and then same people who are doing that are buying gold in like tens of thousands of gold per month. The same content creators. I'm not going to be name dropping on this episode. Maybe in the future, if I don't give a fuck anymore. But like it's just the hypocrisy of some of these people, man. Yeah, guys, boosting is bad, botting is bad. Meanwhile, some other guy from freaking Eastern Europe is like farming honor for the guy, right? And then he shows up on the next stream. Hey, I'm gonna go in arena, guys. Got a full PvP set. I wonder how did you get it? While streaming 0 of the honor farm. Interesting approach. And there's a lot of scummy shit happening. And there's so many content creators that are like so full of shit. Now, I'm not saying I'm the angel. If anything, I'm the devil. I'm the devil myself, right? By far. I have, in terms of what I do and the way I behave and the language I use, I am the devil for sure. But the thing is, there's so many people who act like angels, and they're incompetent, lying, conniving freaking apes, man. Just apes that just regurgitate garbage that somehow comes into the mainstream. And that's what bothers me the most is if these people were at least good at the game or had tremendous knowledge about the game, then you could say, okay, well, they're this, but they have, redeeming quality about themselves. But they don't. That's the thing. They don't. If you face S-Fund in Arena, he is the freest arena points you're ever gonna have in your life, by far. And it is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling that someone like that can network himself into fake competence. Guys, S-Fund is dog shit player, right? And I'm not gonna sit here as a Paladin player. I should be networking with S-Fund. Bro, suck my dick. The guy is more shit than a pile of crap, bro. He can't play the game for shit. He's a keyboard-turning fucking muppet that fucking went onto Twitch, got famous of Classic, and then went to Texas and became one of the Texas streamers. And, you're supposed to network with someone because they're famous? No, he's shit at the game. Absolutely garbage. The best iteration of the Paladin that you will find, being Wrath of the Lich King Paladin, requires 10 times more skill than pretending that you're good at the game by playing Retribution in vanilla, which is debatably the worst iteration of the game ever. And it's just mind-boggling how the current meta for every content creator is play nice, everyone is amazing, everyone is good, and somehow they're good at the game. My fucking ass, say the fucking truth, he's shit, keyboard turning fucking muppet that got hard carried in any content that's relevant. But if you say that, you're a hater. And somehow the truth, the ugly truth, means hate. No. If the light is red and you drive through it and you get stopped by a cop and he tells you, hey, it was a red light, and he saw it, he's not gonna paint it green magically. He's gonna say how it is. You ran a red light, right? And this is the same situation here. It's like you have these content creators that are absolutely fucking shit at the game, have no understanding of it whatsoever. Yeah, right? Whatsoever. Like you have Muppets that have not even a basic understanding of Wrath of the Lich King talking about the game. You have morons like Rugs who played on fucking Sunwell, bro. Sunwell Frosthole, bro. You have to be beyond an ape to play on server like that. Listen, Warman is garbage, but there's tiers below that. There's trash below trash. And then you have someone come out of the slums of the lowest possible shit server ever made, and somehow they're respectable content creator. The same moron who can't even get a full 99 clean parsing page on logs is somehow top 5 druids of all time in TBC. It's like, where do delusions start? Where do delusions stop? You have...
Real quick, not to interject here, but...
No, go, by any means, go for it.
We went over this, and you said, because I had asked what the difference was, but I think he parsed, what was it, 97th or something like that?
There's a bunch of 95s, which is not even top 5%.
Just so people can break it down, explain the difference between a 95 and a 99 parse.
95 and a 99, the difference between those two is you being in top 100 in the world at all. You need to have a 99 if you even want to be in the top 100. Right? That's how it functions. If you do not have an average 99 parse, which is, by the way, which highlights your career, that doesn't mean that you're parsing every week. Like it used to be with World of Logs, which you're taking down, which you have experience with. The way it works is if you parse 95, that's actually really underwhelming. Like, you cannot make a claim and say, yo, I'm one of the best druids in the world, when you're not even in top 5%, my guy. You're just being delusional. It's a mockery of the system. You're just using, I got the 99 here, I got it on this fight, I got it on this fight. Okay, cute. So, like, the most relevant fight, because the most relevant fight, well, 3 relevant fights are the Lidaldi Council, Illidan himself, and Archiman. And then when you see, when you look at what people are actually doing, how they're performing on the hardest fights, and you see someone who claims to be in top 5 druids of all time in TBC, is not even in top 100. And it's like, okay, like, let's cut the bullshit. You're not in top 100 most performing single target boss DPS druids, right? So there's stuff like that really, it's not hate, it's facts. In tier 4, I had one of the best parses. Right now in tier 6, I'm trash can. I have, in terms of parses, in terms of my performances. You can pull my logs, you're gonna see, holy frick, this guy is incredibly underwhelming. That's true, I'm running GDKPs, I'm not raiding competitively, I'm raiding for a monetary game. Back in tier 4, I used to smash Kara, bro. I had 99s like no one else. I was one of the first Horde Paladins that solo tanked Karazhan. I was one of the first paladins that started to tank before all other guys were like, oh, what this button do? Consecrate. Like, you know. So I actually know where, like, yo, in tier 4, no one was even close to me. There was maybe a couple of paladins. I just didn't promote myself in such way. Maybe if I did promote myself in such way, hey, I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ when it comes to paladins, maybe I would have gotten the recognition as well. But I didn't want to. It's cringy. When you I find it really, really distasty when someone self-promotes as like, oh, I did this or I did that, or look at me, I'm the best in the world. Simmer down, right? There's always someone else who's gonna clap you. Like I can pull you logs right now. I can show you logs right now on random guys from Faralina that are really, really good at the game. Super good at the game. Like, they don't look at the trash DPS because no one cares about how much damage you did on trash. Well, at least any self-respecting raider whose parents are not blood related doesn't care about the trash, okay? So if you look at that, people who are actually doing clean, insane boss damage and boss kills, they're not discovered. They get no praise. So being good player nowadays, it's like, how well can you sell yourself, not how well are you actually doing in game, if it makes sense. Like, it was kind of a long rant.
No, that it makes perfect sense. And like I said, I agree, 1,000%. The difference between good, I'm talking really good, and great, it's such a big difference, and people don't talk about it enough. Like, who cares? Like you said, like we were talking about, with Rugs and his parse differences. Like, there's a difference to me if I see a Resto Druid going head to head with another Resto Druid or something like that. And you look at the fight and you realize, like, a fight that has really no bad RNG moments, like, I don't know, like a BQL, where pretty much, unless you're getting flames, and even then as a Resto Druid, you can still heal. It isn't going to affect you that much. If I see that Resto Druid pulling 17k and I got another one pulling 19k, I'm going to find out exactly what happened. That's a bit of a difference there. Yeah. And it's the same stuff we've seen before. I've seen it. I've witnessed it 1,001 times. I could sit here and, like you said, name off a ton of these big streamers who go through this stuff, or these content creators who go, oh, look what I did. I could pull this amount. Yeah, but I know
actually,
people,
let me switch on the screen. Let me show to the audience. So what I was talking about was this. Is this the best druid in the world? Not like you have 3 out of, like, this is for Black Temple. You have only 3 99s and you are self-proclaimed best druid in the world? Guys, where do delusions begin and where do we stop? Like, unless you're actually smashing and you got at least 200s, simmer down, kid. You're nowhere close to being good. Like, as I said, just like a small preview for those who are actually watching the podcast and are watching it, what we are talking about, or what at least what I was referencing to. How can you have 95 on Illidan and Stormrange and claim you're one of the best druids? Hello? Is it not pathetic? Do you feel no shame? How dare you? How freaking dare you even remotely say that? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic beyond belief to even remotely utter those words. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. It makes me want to hurl. What have we become as a community when muppets like that, when morons like that think they're shit worth to the point that they're top 5 of the world? Such shit. You know what? Sit the fuck down, kid. You're shit and you'll stay shit. As long as the fucking fathers say so, yeah?
What gets me about this whole what honestly gets me about the whole thing is the fact that these guys, this used to be called out. You know, I'm
Yes.
from where. Why aren't we calling this out anymore? What happened to not? Would we all just become a bunch of pussies and we don't call stuff out anymore?
No, but that's the thing.
Seriously.
That's the thing. This is why we made the F show. This is why we made the F show, guys, is to fucking call out this bullshit, right? Yes, there is a lot of profanity, but this is bullshit. This is bullshit by literal Muppets. Wowhead guide makers. If you go to tbc.wowhead.com, 80% of it is factual garbage made by Muppets. The fact that those people are being paid even $1, a singular dollar, is absolutely disgusting. It is complete betrayal of content creation and any kind of professionalism when it comes to World of Warcraft whatsoever. Okay? It is absolutely appalling. And this is the same thing that's going to happen with, you guessed it, wotlk.wowhead.com. It's coming in 3 to 4 months, everybody. Just wait for it. You're gonna have a bunch of complete Muppets making guides telling you, no, you should be playing Death Knight like this. You should put Razor Eyes on both main hand and offhand because the sim says so. Giggity. Just wait for it. It's coming, everyone. It's gonna be beautiful. This is why we made F Show before Classic Craft comes out. This is why I talked with Funky. Funky is a veteran. Also, once again, Funky is not an angel. I know, like when he's here, Funky is not an angel, just like myself. But he, like Funky, from what I know and I remember a little bit, you were kind of the Dark Prince of Warmane for a while, and you went through all of this. You went through the best of the private servers and the worst of the private servers, and you've been through it all. And this is why I wanted specifically to make this show with you and then to have a place where you can showcase things and talk about these things and talk about these changes in the community and these blatant, disgusting lies, right? And to kind of not divert, unless you want to add on to something, I want to switch us to the bullet points that we have, the 4 bigger bullet points.
Just to finish up with all that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really, I catch, just personally for me, I catch heat for it all the time. I'm no angel. I'll tell it like it is, and I'll use whatever verbs and whatever language I want to. That's just me. It's who I am. Sue me for it, I guess. But I don't know what happened to the. I really don't. The fact that we let this stuff go it's sad. That's all it is. It comes down to it's just sad. It's really sad.
But there's a lot of negative emotion attached to all of this. Like, if you're a veteran, if you're a true veteran, a true gamer, coming back and looking at the scene, I mean, at some point after that much sadness, you have nothing but disdain, distaste, and then complete nausea just looking at the scene and what it is. But it's not just the content creators. It is the Big Daddy Blizzard himself. All right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Funky, did you fully watch the presentation? I don't think you did. I don't think you had that much time.
I haven't had the opportunity yet to do that, but
I will summarize it. They announced the big expansion reveal. 10.0. That's the big patch, and with it, its ugly little brother being Wrath of the Lich King Classic. They talked about it a little bit as well. Now, for retail, they're finally revamping the garbage default UI. It took them solid 15 years to come to that idea. Hey, maybe the unit plates, maybe the action bars, maybe we should revamp that a little bit. Maybe we should give it some love. Took them only 15 years to figure that out. But lo and behold, retail is getting full graphical overhaul. Meanwhile, we're getting, what we're getting for Wrath of the Lich King Classic? You know what we're getting besides banana? Well, I'll tell you what we're not getting. Let me pull it out real quick. So first, what we're not getting is a dungeon finder. All right. Now, what they said about it is, well, I'll read it off the screen. Players Players rediscovering Wrath of the Lich King Classic won't find the looking for dungeon feature originally added in patch 335. By the way, crucial side note, 335, right? It was not added in 335. It was added in 3.3. Okay, it is 3.3. It's not 335. They have fucking no clue what they're talking about. There is a difference between 3.3, 3.3.1, and 3.3.5. There are actually differences in terms of balancing and everything. It was not added in 3.3.5. Like you have Ruby Sanction in 3.3.5. You do not have Ruby Sanction in 3.3. Like the company themselves have no clue what they're talking about. I'm not kidding. This is a meme. I think you remember it yourself, no? The gates of Icecrown open, we get the dungeon finder, we get the Foss boss, how they call it, Pit of Saron, and what are the, I always forget them.
Reflection.
Halls of Reflection, and thank you. Basically, there's a chain quest. I'm sure you remember that dungeon. That's when the dungeon finder was added.
Yeah, for Forge of Souls. Yeah.
Yeah, Forge of Souls. Yeah. You would start the chain quest in Forge of Souls. That's where it comes from, right? So they actually say originally added in patch 335, and it's like, no, it's not, bro. Like, which incompetent muppet is running this project? I would like to talk to them, and I would ask them, whose genitalia did they freaking stimulate to get their job and to keep that job? Because this is really, really disgraceful. Why do I, as a player, need to point out obvious mistakes that the multi-billion dollar company is doing? Like, can you not employ someone who's competent? Who can at least read the patch notes? They're not competent at reading their own patch notes, bro. It's hilarious. I know some of you might think it's nitpicking. It's not. It's not nitpicking. These are paid professionals. They are multimillionaire. These people run their careers until they become multimillionaire. And they can't even read their own patch notes. And some dumb fuck Eastern European, aka me, can do it better than them. Excuse me. Their standard of professionalism is non-existent, okay? Anyway, not to divert too much. As you see, this is a really spicy episode. The filters are completely gone. We burned that shit. We're running straight pipe. We've heard from our classic community that the importance of social bonds is a big part of what makes Classic their game of choice. And we agree. Shut up. Let me say that again. We've heard from our Classic community that the importance of social bonds is what's important. I mean, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts, Funky?
First of all, let's get to the meat of this. Wrath of the Lich King dungeons are not like TBC. They are not like vanilla. They are not, a 20-30 minute ordeal where you have to chain CC or do this, and it takes... You can clear them all, hell, by end game, or even close to... By the time you're in tier 9 gear, even tier 8 gear, a lot of these dungeons, you don't even need a tank. That's how easy they are. They're
exactly
easy. Exactly. So what is the point of this? Removing RDF, removing this part of the game, I'll never understand. I expected it to be released more towards, tier 9, tier 10. Fine. But okay, here's the big problem though, and me and Teamy were talking about this the other day. What are they going to do about badges? Because if you're removing RDF and you're removing the chance for a person to get 2 Frost badges or Triumph, Conquer, whatever badge is current in the tier, how do you plan on replacing that? I mean, that's a huge way that people can get their badges if they're not really good at raiding. I want to know the answer to that. What do you plan on replacing that with, and how are you going to replace that? Because that's a kind of a big deal.
It is. So specifically for those that don't know what Funky is talking about is you get badges of the previous tier every time you queue into the RDF. So let's say Ulduar patch drops and the main, the premium badge is the Conquest badge, which you get from A, doing Ulduar, or B, doing, your daily dungeon. And I think that's when they introduce the weekly raid. That weekly raid is going to be.
Yeah.
It should be like the weekly raid is on the hill I want to die on anyway. It could be in. It doesn't have to be in. The thing is, if you don't have RDF in Old War patch, that means that you're fucked, and that's with a capital F. That's fucked as a Fark. That's fucked as a funky capital F. That type of F. Okay. What that means is you get no badges, no extra badges when you queue for an RDF, which helps you a lot to get that gear. Now, you don't get crazy gear, right? Think about it. Old War is item level 219, 232 on some bosses up to 232 in 10 men, 239. I mean, Valanir is 245, right? And you're here being fucked, not getting badges to buy gear that's item level 200, right? We're not even talking 213, it's 200. So it's like they are not introducing RDF, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I like I said, I get it if you're gonna, I get it if you want to release it towards the end, just like it was in retail. I totally understand that. I'm 100% behind it. I expected that to happen. However, just removing it altogether means, and granted, it's a little bit different of a time, but you know, because they were allowing people to catch up because they wanted the community as a whole to be able to witness and play Lich King, because that was a huge part of, you know, going from Warcraft 3 into World of Warcraft. So I think that's one of the reasons why they did with what they did with RDF. But it's RDF. I understand removing LFR, but it's a dungeon finder, and it's the dungeons are so fucking easy. Can you imagine, even with flying mounts, being in Dalaran, and then, oh yeah, guys, the daily or whatever, however they're planning on doing this from now on, however they plan on getting badges, the daily, I'm assuming they'll probably do it in a form of a quest that you have to go pick up, just like you would with the weekly.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to fly, get your group, spam global for however long to find a group of non-idiots, and then we got to do Utgard Pinnacle. Well, you got to fly all the way out to fucking what is that? Grizzly Hills? No, it's below Grizzly. Howling Fjord.
Howling Fjord is Pinnacle
Yeah,
and Keep.
you gotta fly all the way down. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, you're gonna have to tour the Northrend every single day. That's what it's gonna be like. You're gonna go from east to west, west to east. Pick your direction. So either you're gonna start in Oculus and the Nexus, right, and then progressively move towards the other side. Yeah, or you're gonna start Utgard Pinnacle, Utgard Keep, and then maybe you go to Storm Peaks and do all of the holes of stone, holes of lightning, and then maybe you'll do Zuldrak on the way as well. Let's not forget Gundrak. That you need to pick that one up on the way as well.
Yeah,
right.
And that one's got 2 entrances. So
yeah.
Oh my god, this whole thing. Yeah, imagine getting the Oculus.
I mean, you're gonna have to do the Oculus. You're gonna have to do the Oculus. No matter how hard you hate the dungeon, you're gonna have to do it. Right?
It's not like RDF where you can just, okay, well, I don't want to do this today, or okay, I'll just wait for a better group, or okay,
you're gonna have to do the Oculus because you won't have enough badges. You're gonna need the badges early.
Right, but it's not like RDF where you can just be like, okay, I'll just wait for a different queue. Like, I'll just take the, whatever.
Deserter, yeah. Nah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Why in the world wouldn't you want RDF? And I guarantee you, like we just talked about in the previous section before this, Metagoblin has a huge video on this, and I did a rebuttal on it years ago about him talking about RDF killing the game. That's why people started quitting the game. No, go look at the numbers that they still have posted today. Just Google search them. You can look up WoW numbers, the population numbers back when they still used to report on them. Wrath kept going up and up and up and up and up and peaked. And then as soon as Kata started, it continued at that peak of 12.5 million, then it's been in free fall since. So where in the hell is he coming off that RDF killed the game? People were fine with RDF. What killed the game was all the changes that
here's the thing. Here is the thing. I think they're lying. I think they're full of it. I'm putting it out there. I think straight up Blizzard is lying. I don't think RDF is ready. I don't think they have the code. I don't think they have the infrastructure. I think their development team is incredibly incompetent, lackluster. I think they're being heavily underfunded. I don't think they got the manpower or the brain power to pull it off. And here is the reasoning behind it. Do you guys remember the TBC? when TBC first came. Okay, let me show you real quick. I have a screenshot right here. Here it is. Y'all remember this, right? From TBC, you have the looking for group panel, and then you kind of select, oh, what are you doing? You kind of flag yourself, right? It's a box that you tick. It's a drop down menu, and you select, hey, I'm looking for group or looking for more. It's very archaic and primitive system compared to the RDF and in the future LFR that you get. That thing, that graphical user interface, that smidge of a code, the most primitive code that we can imagine as of nowadays, right? Nowadays, 2020 onwards, for serious programmers. Now, I'm not a programmer, but I have education, and this is a joke. This is a fart in the wind, and this was not ready on the release of TBC, guys. This was not ready. This little drop-down menu that they just had to backport, test, and fix a couple of bugs, make sure, database is clean, okay, boom, take this, paste it over there. The simplest graphical user interface was not ready for TBC. This was added later on. I'm thinking this was added deep into Tier 4. And this is what leads me to believe they're full of it. I'm like, put my gun to my head right now. They're full of shit, my guy. Blizzard is actively lying and hiding behind the comment, oh, we're doing this for the community because this is what they wanted, this is their opinion. Bullshit. You're paying your staff in peanuts. You have 3 fucking interns that barely know how to fucking code, and you didn't prepare shit. I think that's the reality of the matter, considering just the amount of disgusting bugs we've had in TBC. Just the disgusting amount. I can't wait for Classic Wrath. I can't wait to have discussions. But this time, thank God I'm not gonna be alone, because there's a bunch of homies from private servers, yourself included. I can't wait to have a full podcast on nothing but shitting on Blizzard and how their game is full of fucking garbage ass bugs breaking the game because they're a shit company not paying their employees and they're too busy cube crawling, right? Somehow they turned a new leaf. Bullshit, man. It's not ready. And I'll tell you why it's not ready. I'll get straight into it. Here is someone.
Now let's talk about some changes.
One
thing
this lady
is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step.
This lady that I just played a short clip, of. This lady that you just witnessed, this is Ian. She's the main leader. Okay? That's what she is. Okay? She is the main leader behind Classic World of Warcraft. I just played a short clip where she goes on camera, smiles, and says, haha, yeah, Classic community doesn't want it. Now, here are her credentials before she joined Blizzard. Pull it up, LinkedIn, okay? Inspector Fark. What did she do in EverQuest? Senior producer, executive blah blah blah. Suckama Durkama blah, Dark Pov Games last 3 months, whatever, the last 3 months don't mean shit anyway. Probably just some bullshit job before she quit the company anyway. Boom after that, directly goes to Blizzard. Now, what did they do in EverQuest? This is important to understand. Very important piece of information. Alright, for those who are watching this live or watching this on YouTube later on, you're about to be illuminated, trust me. Now, what did EverQuest do? Many of you don't know, but EverQuest is an MMO similar to World of Warcraft. It came before World of Warcraft, so before 2004, 2005, and it had like similar chat-based role-playing game online system, right? And this is what they started to do at EverQuest, where she worked. They would start a new server, old expansion, pump and dump, close the server, who gives a fuck, let it die, start a new one. You can see it here. What is an EverQuest progression server? An EverQuest progression server is a special server that launches with only a subset of the game content, aka expansion or previous iteration of the game. So this is what the leader right? This is what she did for years. She just launched old EverQuest servers, right? This person has no clue about the game. This person has no previous interactions with the product, with the IP whatsoever. This is someone who came from an EverQuest, right? Heavily pumped and dumped these servers, kind of almost like a cash grab. Hey guys, fresh, come and get it. You know, the guys would play fresh. Okay, let's do it again. New fresh server, guys. And they've been doing this for what, like several years now, like 6th or 7th season is in place right now. And this is kind of what she's doing right now. She applied at Blizzard, they hired her. She's, oh yeah, classic servers, maybe you can help us. The thing is, you need to have something between the years when it comes to classic servers, right? It can be used as a pump and dump scheme, but the project is eventually going to fail, and you're going to be ridiculed and mocked for the eternity of your career. You can't just pump and dump this game. This is not how it works. Wrath of the Lich King had more than 10 million subscribers. Now some say, oh no, it's because of TBC or blah blah. Shut the fuck up. Wrath of the Lich King was the most popular version of the game. Whether you like it or not like it, was a trendsetter. It broke records. Grandmas in retirement's home heard about Lich King and Icecrown Citadel. That's how legendary the game was. It was second to none. It was the champion of online computer gaming, right? And to bring a project like this, in this state, lie to the community and say, oh, the community said bullshit. Who from the community? Which one of you motherfuckers said you don't want RDF? Huh? Which one of you motherfuckers said you don't want... None of you said that. I didn't fucking say that. Who asked me? Funky, did anyone ask you? Did you have a survey? No. What do you think? What do you think? I mean,
the whole thing is just dumb. Like we were talking, you know, I don't even know where to begin because it's so fucking stupid. It really is. It's so fucking dumb that these guys, and I don't know if it's coming from content creators currently that are pushing their bullshit onto other people and they're just getting them to buy in, because that seems to be a reoccurring theme where somebody with an idea who doesn't know that much about the game pushes a concept or their view of things, and then everyone gets on the bandwagon and they just follow them along and just cheer them, you know, we don't need this, we don't want that, this is what ruined the game. Like I said, Metagoblin had a video on this, you know, a while ago, and it's simply not true. Where is this stuff coming from? None of these people have played Wrath. A lot of them have not. They don't have the idea. They have no clue what they're talking about. Another thing I want to talk about real quick with all these changes that are going on, which we're going to talk about, I'm sure, is this is becoming more and more custom content. Now, I know a lot of people do like the custom content. They like things to be a little bit different. I am a realist. I want it to be exactly the way it was when it went down in retail. I don't want any changes made. Just put it back. If they could do it tier by tier and do all the implementation, of everything throughout, you know, tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, and all the changes that came with it, I would love that. I think that would be really cool. Will they ever do it? No. But we're looking at custom content. That's all this is. This is like playing on a Sunwell or a private server. You know, for years, private server players were mocked. Oh, it's custom content. Oh, it's not how it should be. Just wait till retail and you're going to see. Hello, if they keep this stuff stock, if they keep tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10 stock and don't buff it or don't change anything, I mean, minus Halion and Lich King and Yogg 0, it's just gonna be a walk in the park. So this whole thing, this whole concept of what they're trying to make it, to me, it's just dumb. It's absolutely fucking stupid. There's no reason or rhyme for it. They didn't listen to the fucking community. They didn't listen to anybody from the fucking community who actually knows what the hell they're talking about. I can guarantee you that. They might have talked to some moron or somebody some big streamer or something like that. But none of those guys actually play Wrath. None of those guys actually have sat through and played the game or know it inside and out like, you know, somebody like me or others know how the game should work, etc., etc. To me, it's dumb.
Once again, calling it dumb is a compliment in my books. It really is. It really is, because like, once again, I don't think that they know what the frick they're doing. Like, for example, they say no dungeon finder, as I said, added in patch 335, factually incorrect. Once again, right. I don't think they have the skill to pull it off. Right? Like, whatever other content creators like Muppet Goblins say, it doesn't matter what they say. It matters what you see, and say how it is. Say comment, like, drop actual commentary. It is so annoying, by the way. Just a side rant. It is so annoying to be one of the only content creators that freaking says it how it freaking is. Okay? I don't care if Blizzard doesn't let me participate in the beta. I don't care if Blizzard doesn't like me. Just say how it is. Blizzard is full of shit. Don't sit there and talk about stupid boost. No one gives a fuck about the boost. The boost is fucking irrelevant. You get one per account. It's just one more thing to cash grab you, right? It's the same thing. Either you're gonna grind heirlooms because you get heirlooms, or you're gonna pay, or what? You're gonna buy gold and pay boosters like what they do nowadays. It doesn't fucking matter. It's the same shit. The boost doesn't matter. Talk about the actual quality of the game. Why did we not get dual spec for fucking TBC? They nerf the drums. They do these stupid changes to drums because leatherworking is OP. But for 2 seasons, guys, for 2 seasons, they allow engineering items in freaking arena. Like, what are you doing? Are you primitive? Are you not competent? Are you dense? You're ruining your own product, and it's so annoying when I, as a player and as a small-time content creator, am like the only one sitting here and like, hello? Like, why are we paying for this garbage? Why is no one else? Where are the other content creators? And it's inexcusable. I'm sorry. You sit on your fucking ass and you're like, ha ha, look at me, I am a streamer, clicky, Blizzard very good. Fuck off. Say how it is. They're fucking incompetent. And all of these pussies sit on their fucking ass. They don't have a pair of balls to say how it fucking is. Because they get paid like, what, 500 a month? You get paid 1k a month to sell shit, to lie to people? Fucking say how it is, bro. We got served shit. Don't be a fucking bitch and say how it fucking is, bro. But no, you're a small-time toxic... Hey, you're a toxic Eastern European. Yo, bro, I'd rather fucking go down as a toxic fucking cunt and say how it fucking is than to suck Blizzard's dick for $500 a month. Fuck you, bro. I played back in the day, bro. I played with the real ones, not with this fucking bullshit where you need to suck dick to get fucking 50 views on Twitch. Fucking fuck it, bro.
No, you're absolutely, I mean, you're 100% right. It's an absolute shit show. It really is. It's sad. It's sad that this is where we are in gaming, where people who call stuff out, people who, like you, like me, and there's others. There's very few of us, but there are others. People who call this stuff out, we're the black sheep. We're the black sheep for saying, hey, your content and what you're doing is trash. This isn't right. You're wrong here. You're wrong there. Why are you? Who told you this is what the community wanted? It's people who don't understand the game are the people you're listening to. It's ridiculous, and they make no effort, zero effort to try to reach out and actually talk to people from that community. None. I mean, I haven't been contacted. You haven't been contacted. Nobody that I know that would agree with us on this has been contacted. I mean, who the hell are they exactly talking to?
Well, they're talking to the ones that started to sell the shit first, right? That's how it goes. There is this pecking order. There is this fictional pecking order that has, once again, nothing to do with skill, nothing to do with knowledge, and nothing to do with passion. It's just a bunch of Muppets that created a circle full of fucking bullshit that go fucking live or create videos that literally lie to the audience. They lie to players. They lie to viewers. They're conniving, lying, incompetent, backpedaling Muppets. And enough is enough, bro. Enough is enough. Like, I don't care if I get the strike for profanity language. I couldn't care any less. But someone needs to goddamn freaking say it. Okay? Not only are your favorite content creators full of shit and are buying gold and are fucking paying Eastern Europeans to pilot their characters, but Blizzard doesn't give a fuck about it either. Guess what? Some of these guys get banned for their bullshit. Blizzard doesn't fucking care. They're gonna unban them because, oh, I get 1,000 viewers. I am promoting your game. It's a closed circle of fucking bullshit, and you can see it on your screen right now. Once again, like, I cannot emphasize the point. The company themselves says, looking for dungeon was added in 335. This is how they're marketing, bro. This is the official blue post. This had to go through 5 people, the very least. 5 people at Blizzard had to go through this post, and not a single person, not a single. Why didn't you ask Ian? Ian played the game. He could have told you, "Hey, morons, it was not 335. It's 3.3." Like, just ask Ian. But I guess that that's about their pay grade to ask Ian, right? The guy who actually fucking understands the game and who played the game, and who also, by the way, is creator of Elitist Jerks. And no, if you come from TBC, Elitist Jerks in Wrath of the Lich King are 10 times better than they were in TBC, so your argument is fucking shit anyway. If you think Elitist Jerks, the website back in the day, was mathematically flawed, you're just delusional. It's not perfect, but to call it inherently completely shit is wrong. That's how Ian, the main developer, the lead dev, that's where he came from, right? It's where he came from. But Ian cannot fight the fight himself. He tries a lot of things. He fights the good fight, and I'm pretty sure, I believe that Ian has good intentions, because he was the real one, bro. Like, Ian Hazzikostas, whether you hate him or love him or think he's incompetent, he was one of us. He was one of the gamers, one of the hardcore gamers he put things into place, not only as a game developer, but as a player and a member of community. Right? He put guys into place. He created meta that later transitioned into Cataclysm. Preach popped off. He kind of was riding on coattails of Ian a little bit. Preach Gaming, if you guys remember him. He also started making a lot of guides. Nothing before that was shit-worthy before Ian came and turned Elitist Jerks into a competent website. Those are the roots. That's how it came to be. Right? And somehow 10 years later, Slim Shady made the real one stand up, and then you're an empty room filled with Muppets from Sesame Street. No one is standing up because there ain't nobody, right? And that's, once again, we're ranting a little bit, so I apologize on that one as well. No, do you have anything to add on that note before we move to the next point? We can talk about the boost.
The Elitist Jerk stuff. I think people are. You go in there, and like I think we've touched on it maybe beforehand, but a lot of the math there is 100% solid, like even to this day. And sure. you go there, and it's kind of like, for me, it's going back in time, looking at a piece of history, because I remember I've posted in Elitist Jerks. I've been, I was a part of that community, and you look now and go to any of these Discords. Go to any of the classic Discords in the discussion there, and it's not even a discussion anymore. It's just people bashing on people, trying to find dirt on people, going through all this goofy talk about stuff that doesn't even matter, and it's 12-year-old stuff. It's insane to sit here and look at it, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is where we are now. And like I said, some of the Elitist Jerk stuff, like, for example, Restoration Druid, it's a bit off when it comes to them talking about enchants and things like that, but the actual math is quite still solid to this day. The math is spot on. It hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, 100%. Like, when you look at some of the Retribution Paladin stuff, the way they talk about things, it makes sense. Obviously, armor penetration, people knew about the armor penetration value and stuff like that. Now, the things that people are regurgitating, stuff like, why don't rogues go combat from day one? Why do they go assassination? Why don't Fury Warriors do 10,000 DPS from day one? It's obviously armor penetration is the thing. And armor penetration changes from TBC, by the way, for those that don't know or don't remember or need a refresher. Armor penetration is percentage-based stat in Wrath of the Lich King, and I think if I do stand corrected myself as well, I think it doesn't have a cap, as in you can go a little bit of it's weird near the end. So like once you push it near the very end or near the end, I think there's like you can do things to go kind of push the cap over as well. I would need to like talk to other people. I never play armor penetration classes myself. Like I would like typically stick to a DK that does go for armor penetration, but I never played it that late where you could cap it or be near cap. Or I would play like a Retribution Paladin predominantly and stuff like that. But yeah,
I was gonna say I was gonna answer Cold Knocks there talking about. You sent me a picture of somebody who's Blizzard staff, and actually that guy, it's Hamlet from Elitist Jerks. So yeah, a lot of the Elitist Jerks, at least one of them that I know of for sure, is a part of that Blizzard staff, and I don't know, it really blows my mind that this is I don't get it. Like, these guys used to be a part of this community. What happened? Like, where? I don't know how we got here. I really don't.
Yeah, it used to work completely differently back in the day. Yeah, Elitist Jerks had ties with Blizzard. That is true. That is true. And GMs used to visit the raids. You would go in a raid, and if you're in a top guild or one of the top guilds, there is a chance that a GM was in it, and there was discussions. There were discussions between the developers, and they were actively developing the game. I'm pretty sure it happens in the retail. I don't see it happening nowadays. I don't think that's a thing. Like, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of issues in terms of communication that happens with the player base. I think it's sad that select few have direct communication with Blizzard. Blizzard doesn't like just reach out and ask the community like this. Even with the surveys, they're incredibly selective, right?
Oh yeah, and like I said earlier, like we were talking about, instead of going and find, if Blizzard was smart, and look, I have a degree in HR, I understand this stuff. I understand PR, human resources, etc., etc. If you're trying to build a good company, you're not going to just ask, oh, hey, guy over here who's, really popular. You're not going to ask the most popular person about that. You're going to ask somebody who's knowledgeable about it. You're going to go out and seek that person in order to help make your company grow. You're not just going to ask some random who doesn't know jack about the game. Oh, but he's got 50,000 followers or, 50 million followers. So he must know what he's talking about. Since when did follows and viewership equal knowledge? Since when? Since when does that I don't get it.
Yeah, that is very much true. Someone said GMs are still looking inside the raids because of the progress beat you run. That is true. It does happen in those like highlight moments. What I was referencing was like the ICC back in the day wasn't released as a complete raid. It was gated, right?
Yeah.
And the GMs would actually go and they would be there, not permanently, but like oftentimes, like they would be there on farm. So it's whereas nowadays that's not the case. Like they would check what are the guilds doing, how are they progressing. The developers would take a peek themselves. How are these guys doing? Is it too hard? Is it too easy? Stuff like that. So there was a little bit more, active observation when it comes to Blizzard, whereas nowadays I think they're just making sure there's nothing fishy, or I don't think they're observing as much and coming from a point of view where they want to get information. I think they're observing just to make sure that there's nothing fishy happening. But yeah, let's get back into the discussion. There's boost, level 70 boost, plain and simple. It's not 58, it's not 68. They changed their mind and they said it's level 70. Probably gonna get a bunch of green gear. It's not gonna be amazing. I'm kind of surprised they didn't decide to put a level 68. I
really honestly can't believe, just real quick, I can't believe they made it 70. Like, yeah. I thought for sure, because that takes away, why would you do that? It takes away from the point of everyone who wants to play Wrath hurrying up and joining early to boost their character and get everything set up now. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's a dumb move. if you're looking at it from the money standpoint, that makes absolutely no sense to me.
Here's the issue. The truth needs to be spoken. Here is the thing. I'm not gonna say where you can get it, but the easiest thing nowadays is to buy gold. Everyone is buying gold, right? Especially on the biggest American servers. European servers, I mean, it still happens. You know, I myself is a European. I can tell you, some of these guys have mentality. I'll rather shoot myself in the foot than buy gold. Fuck you, I'm gonna farm it myself. Some of them have that mentality. Some Europeans do. I'm not saying Americans don't, but what I'm saying is it when I compare playing on EU servers versus NA servers, the swipe meta is very much stronger in NA, right? When I look at Farolina, when I look at Benediction, even it happens on Globulus, right? Like, it's really common to swipe. I'm just gonna swipe, who gives a fuck, right? Epic flying mount, I'm just gonna swipe it, fucking. What is it? Like, it's just, how much is epic flying? $40? I'm just gonna swipe it. Who cares?
Right.
It's that easy to get boosted as well. Oh, you want to get your paladin boosted? Well, guess what? You have RFC into SFK, and then SFK, you're chilling there until level 20. After that is Scarlet Monastery Marathon, right? And after Scarlet Monastery, well, lo and behold, there's 5,001 protection paladins ready to boost you in Stratholme. And you can, what people also forget, you can sit in Stratholme until 62. I kid you not. I boosted Icy's Mage until 64 in Stratholme. But you'll be surprised, but it is actually really good. It is really good, right? I boosted a bunch of people myself. Like, I would boost non-stop to get the gold myself. So unless you're a booster, you're gonna get boosted yourself. And after that, there's slave pants meta. All of these mages just sitting in slave pants. Guys, like, please inspect the mages. Inspect your mages in slave pants. Or like, when you're doing SSC, if you're doing SSC, I implore you, it is like 20 yards to your left. Just see what type of characters are there sitting, What kind of gear do they have? You're gonna see mages with stamina gems. You're gonna see mages with spell penetration. You're gonna see mages with melee crit gems. In Wrath of the Lich King, crit is crit. There is no melee and spell. In TBC, there's a difference between physical and spell crit. It used to be like that in Wrath until they unified all of the stats, by the way. I think it was the TOC patch, if stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure it was the TOC patch. And we inspect that. You're gonna see a bunch of people coming from third world countries, farming gold, boosting people, right? And it's like, it's in plain sight, but no one talks about it, right? And I understand, this is my point of view, I understand the level 70 boost is bad, and it shouldn't be in the game, but I don't think the discussion about level 70 boost has a place until we talk about actually what the fuck is happening. The swiping needs to be addressed. One of the game devs who's under Holy, not Holy, there's this guy with receding hairline, forget his name, I think it's Brian something. He
Not
went.
me. I do have a receding hairline, but it wasn't me.
It was Brian. I think his name is Brian. Could be wrong. CBA pulling the info right now. He went on to a different podcast. He actually was interviewed, and he said that they're banning bots, but the bots are taking the same name, which is bullshit, by the way. One of the GMs came out in a Reddit post and said, yeah, that ain't it. Once you ban an account and it has a name, let's say it's Funky Business, right? And I ban your account and it has character name Funky Business. Guess what? That name's gone. The character doesn't get deleted, right? But your account is suspended. The character is still there in the database, but your account is suspended. Blizzard doesn't delete an account just magically like that, right? So basically what ends up happening is these are accounts that they're not getting banned. The guy is straight up lying. This is why I do not trust Blizzard. Like, they have history of lying to the audience, lying to the player base. This is why I don't trust them. when they say no Dungeon Finder because we care about Classic community. You're full of shit. You don't give a fuck about Classic community. 10 out of 10, they're gonna make the fucking move, which is like obviously financially beneficial for them. And in this, I shit you not, in this moment, they decided to say, oh no, we care about the community, so we're not gonna release it. They didn't even develop it. It's not ready. It's not ready. I'm telling you right now. They're spread too thin. They still need to take care of Vanilla Classic. They still need to take care of TBC Classic, and now they're launching Classic Wrath. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the brain power. But what they do have is incompetence and trying to hide behind it and mask it. This is what they're good, right? And this is why I say my opinion is on the boost. Plain and simple. Guys, yeah, Season of Mastery as well. They need to take care of that. That's been a shit show from what I've heard. The level 70 boost doesn't matter. It's a cash grab. If anything, just makes the process for a player. It just makes the process for the player easier. Because let's be real. Once again, you wanna come play the game. There's a good chance your buddy might hook you with gold. There's a good chance that the buddy tells you, hey, I'm going to give you 5,000 gold here. Go get to level 70 as fast as you can. You don't ask the question. You don't ask your friend Jimmy, hey, Jimmy, where did you get the G's? Where did you get the gold coins? You're just happy that Jimmy hooked you up, man. You're living the vida loca, bro, right?
Did you just reference Ricky Martin?
Maybe.
It's I can't believe it. I really can't. And you know what? The sad part in all this is the private server scene. And I hate to say it because I can't stand Warmane's staff. I can't stand them. I think they're absolute morons. But they're gonna have the one thing, and they'll screw it up. I mean, they've been screwing it up, but they have the one thing that Blizzard will never have, and that's the actual game. I can't believe that Warmane has the actual game in a better state than whatever the hell this is ever going to launch at. To me, that's insanity. If you'd have told me that, back when private servers first became, back when I first started playing them in 2011, 12, I would have told you were insane. But the level of scripting that's out there and what they've done with Trinity Core, etc., and how it is now, I mean, this is like for me, it's like watching another Sunwell realm. It's pure lunacy.
Yeah. The only redeeming quality that Classic Wrath might have over private servers is the logging. That's what I think is going to make the difference, is having the logs. Simply because you get to...
Oh, go ahead.
Simply because you get to review things, and there is that competitive side of things, right? As in, I'm a healer, you're a healer, okay, let's see, let's push it to the limit. Let's do limit testing, let's do limit pushing. And even when it comes to that in TBC, there's a lot of bullshit. Now, what do I mean when I say a lot of bullshit? It's not for the sake of profanity, it's for the sake of understanding. And that's, let's say, how can I compare a holy priest getting 5 inner rates to a holy priest that gets 1 inner rate? I can't, right? And then you have this thing, but like, okay, this guy got 2 inner rates, this guy got this many inner rates, and stuff like that. Then let's talk about Mana Tides, because Mana Tide is party-wide in TBC. Well, what if I just, rotate shamans? I have 3 resto shamans, and this guy gets 3 Mana Tides, and stuff like that. It's really hard to find a common ground. It's really hard to find an equal ground, an equal footing where you can compare these logs, right? And even on top of that, you look what's going to happen in Wrath of the Lich King. I'm calling it right now. DPS parsing is going to be by far, remember my words right now, by far the most degenerate thing you have ever seen in your lives. Why?
Oh, for sure.
Tricks of trade and hysteria.
Yep.
That's that simple. Let's say you have 2 Blood Death Knights. They can do back-to-back hysterias. you can have 3 additional tricks of trade. That guy is getting a better parse. There's no other way around it. There simply isn't. Let's say let's pick a fight in an axe where you need 2 tanks, okay? Let's say Kel'Thuzad. I need 2 tanks there. Maybe you can do it with the protection paladin at a later point. Okay, maybe. But let's say I'm doing it relatively early and I have 2 Blood Death Knights. And I decide to give both Hysterias to a Feral Druid. And on top of that, we're pumping tricks of trade from the rogues into that Feral Druid like he's a gas station. I mean, we have 3 rogues and we're just pumping it, right? We have 3 paladins, he's getting salvation all day long, no one gives a fuck about it. And even then, you can right-click it or you make a macro if you're smarter than that. Like, that guy is always going to have a better parse, and there's just no other way around it. Even if that guy is, let's say, even if that guy's skill or gear allows him to get a 95 parse, aka to be in top 5%. Instead of being in top 5%, just because you have a different group setup that has the mentality, okay, you're gonna be parsing, we're funneling our cooldowns into you, we're giving you our externals, all of a sudden, kabang, my guy, you're it. And this has been happening on retail. I think I saw a mage with 12 power infusions because they were running Discipline Priest, and Shadow Priest can also get power infusion on retail. The guy had 12 power infusions, my guy. Non-stop. One drops, the other one goes up, and they were just chain rotating power infusions into the guy, and he was doing nothing but pumping, right? And you kind of reach a point with the logs and with this parsing where it's kind of like, it used to be like that back in the day as well. You had Dark Intent from Warlocks, which gave you haste. I always had to fight for it. I was Survival Hunter in Cataclysm. I'm like, nah, give me Dark Intent, bro. It's haste, come on. Like, and when I wanted to parse, I wanted to have tricks as well. We kind of had it back in the day, but it's going to be hyper sensitive and Wrath. Trust me. Like, Blood Decay, like, is going to be huge. Like, the parsing is not going to be the same without it, man. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Not only that, but you're going to have people who don't even understand how to maximize. Like, in a optimal raid comp with optimal good players, your Blood Decay is going to cast Hysteria on trinket procs because of the damage boost that trinket procs give, just, you know, versus not using it on a trinket proc. Let's say, for example, Feral, you've got STS proc and you've got Deathbringer's Will proc. You want Hysteria at that moment in time. You don't want to have to wait for it. Now, if you're just going to go willy-nilly tossing it around, I mean, yeah, you'll do more damage, but not as much damage as somebody who actually understands when it's a good idea to get that buff. So there's still going to be, I think, discrepancies when you see the top tier players who know when to take a Hysteria versus people who don't, or who can't track their procs and stuff like that. So there'll still be a difference. But yeah, meter whoring's, I mean, we've seen it on private for years where meter whoring's the thing. And now, you know, in talking with these in the classic discords and seeing all this stuff, speed running's a huge thing, which I think is stupid. And then parsing is a huge thing, as we know. So it's going to be just stupid.
Yeah, for sure. There's still a couple of changes that I want to bang out. I'm just looking at the clock right now. We're entering the Eclipse part of the podcast. So let's make sure that we cut all the loose ties. Personal arena rating basically means you don't need a team anymore. Amazing change. Absolutely amazing change. I wish they introduced dual spec into TBC. I don't know what took them so long. So if they can do a change of this magnitude, why couldn't they do that to TBC? Why do we need to play the shittier version of TBC? Why is Seal of Vengeance still broken? And no, I don't care if you're a Discord moderator for Paladins, okay? I don't give a fuck if you're that. Seal of Vengeance doesn't work properly. Fix it, Muppets. Here's also the thing. The fact that there is a dozen Paladins that are apologizing Blizzard for the sake of having a good relationship instead of saying to them, yo, fix the fucking seal, is also pathetic, right? The Paladin Discord is full of Muppets. It's a Sesame Street on steroids. Nothing but Muppets. If you want to learn how to be a shit Paladin and be delusional and stick your head into the ground like an ostrich, go to the Paladin Discord, guys. It's called Light Club and it's filled nothing but Muppets. If you really like Sesame Street, you will feel like you're at home.
Yeah, anything for that Zen says in that Discord. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Wrath Talk, the Wrath Talk channel is just filled with nothing but misinformation. I love it. I never seen anything like it in my life before that. Really.
It's the same thing with the Druid one. It's the exact same thing that I'm seeing in the Druid Discord. It's pure insanity. I mean, people talking about like they're talking about for T3 using and going and getting tier 3. Like, oh guys, we got to go get tier 3. Like, are you guys nuts? Do you understand the stat losses from tier 3? It's going to be hard enough to hit haste cap. We have the calculator out. We've done the best in slot list for each tier on the HEP values. Even with, and I'm assuming there's going to be a nerf to jewel crafting. You're not going to start off with,
I adopted
Dragon's Eye at full power. So even when we have done it with Dragon's Eyes at full power, it's almost impossible to hit haste cap. Okay, if you're gonna hit haste cap, it means you're not using something that's in tier 7. That means you're using something like a dungeon piece of gear or something like that, etc., in order to hit haste cap. And these guys are talking about wearing 2 set tier 3. Like, no, and not on top of that, it doesn't affect runic power because it was before DKs were even in the game. It has a set limit cap on how much mana it can give, which is 60 because it's set to vanilla.
That's
values.
dog shit. That's garbage.
Right, and it's only gonna affect people who are using runic mana, or it's only gonna affect people who are using energy. So you're gonna have what, 2 rogues and 1 feral in an optimal raid comp. So it's gonna affect 3 classes. What are you gonna do as a Resto Druid? Just sit there and just target those 3 people because you're wearing 2 set tier 3? If DPS
maybe, but here's the thing, and here now to go back to my previous point of degenerate parsing. Maybe if the content is that easy, where you can get away, where you can kind of take away from your effective healing power, and you can kind of cover the tanks, have 3 hots. Let's say you're doing Globulus, you do really well on that fight. You can heal while you're moving. You're not dispelling the disease because you don't want to drop it in the raid or something like that. Hey, you might as well do it and run it, right?
Right, and they'll use that too. That was the point I was going to get to eventually was, they're going to be using that to push DPS. So if you're feral and you've got, but it's so dumb. Like if you're a feral,
it is dumb, but that's the thing. How else are you going to increase that feral's DPS? And you think about, you need to bring a healer, right? You need to bring a healer. You're going to have like a holy pally, let's say. You're going to bring like maybe 2 or 3 healers. You might as well bring the guy who's going to give the feral more energy, because this is going to inflate his parse, and his parse is going to be bigger. So that's what it revolves around. It's the never endless. It's not about having the most effective heal. It's how can we cheese and maximize this DPS, because these guys are never going to go guys, you're not going to with Globulus, right? I'm just like, think about you're not going to right? You're not going and you don't care a little bit about the haste, a little bit about the spell power loss. So that's the idea behind it.
They're so focused, to finish up the point that with Resto Druid and the tier 3 thing, they're so focused on tier 3. Nobody's talking about how having rapid rejuvenation actually is going to proc, revitalize, and your tier 3 even more, which is it's going to proc it a lot more, which is far more important than actually having the tier 3 set on to begin with. It's like the conversations of where this stuff is going is just, it's asinine. It's just out in the middle of nowhere for no reason. They're talking about stuff that doesn't even matter, or at least they're talking about stuff that shouldn't. It shouldn't be the main focal point because there's something else out there that does it even better.
Yeah, don't worry. Paladins are S tier tanks, though. Every other tank is shit, but Paladins are S tier tank.
Yeah, the Paladins are great tanks, but can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, but kind of to close up here, personal arena rating, good change. good job. Wish you released TBC in such state. I wish they were thinking about it when they were releasing TBC. That's the thing, they have historically speaking, Blizzard has done a shit job with Classic, right? Like actually, they've done a piss poor job. Now, Vanilla, for the most part, I don't think it was that bad. Maybe the world buffs were a little bit too oppressive. Maybe something with that should have been changed. Maybe they should have done the Chrono Boons, the Chrono Beacons. They should have done that a bit earlier and stuff like that. But like the TBC, they've done fucked it up, man. They've done fucked it up. Like, this is why I think that Wrath might be actually garbage in terms of quality. Unironically, I really think it's going to be a waste of time. I think there's going to be so much copium, and I think the enjoyment is going to be there, and I don't think the game is going to be as good. Like, they're talking about barbershop improvement, right? More additional customization options. That's all great. But that comes after the fact that we talk about the game. Like, here are my worries. They're trying to win the player base over to come and play Classic Wrath. And they're talking about barbershop improvement. Once again, not a bad change. Improvement is an improvement. But why the fuck do I give a shit about an additional hairstyle? How about you give me an option to have Legion models like we do on private servers? Make it a toggle option. I'm gonna ask a question for every body, every person, every brain that's listening to me right now. Guys, if bunch of private server degenerates can copy-paste Legion models onto a private server client and make it work, why can't Blizzard do this for Classic? They're talking about, first of all, some changes, extra this, extra that. Let people decide if they want better graphics. How about that? Food for thought. Like, it's nice to have a better barbershop, but you know what would also really be nice? If I could have a better version of human, if I had an updated human model, and make it a toggle option, make it a DLC. I don't know.
No, yeah, you're right. Make it a toggle option, just like they have for other stuff. I mean, they're barking up the wrong tree. It's basically what it is. They're looking for, I don't even know what they're looking for at this point in time. It just seems like they're trying to make, like you said before, quick cash grab, etc., and it's not about something that actually matters. Like you said, like models. Yeah, who cares? Oh wow, I get a 10th different looking haircut. That who gives a shit? Doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Give me something that actually matters, something that's actually cool, something that's actually worth my time, or worth the announcement. So far, nothing.
Here is also what I wanna like. Okay, here's this. I'm just gonna play a super quick clip. That's of the Towley. I don't know if you heard it or not. Oh yeah, we also need to address it. Here's what Towley said.
Like I said, right now, what I can tell you, and this is me from information that I've had for like a while, is Wrath is gonna be like unleashed. It's gonna be Wrath Unleashed. It's gonna be like Wrath Classic Plus. Some crazy shit is gonna go down with Wrath. I think Wrath, like from like a metrics and like subscriber standpoint,
I don't care about this comment. Anyway, he's been the type of guy who previously said that he has inside contact. Now, I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of him for reasons. I will say why I don't like Towley. I think it's okay. I can say it here. He used to be garbage at the game. Back in Cataclysm, he was a meme. People from Blood Legion made fun of him. Dexter from Blood Legion constantly made fun of him. He was he tried to act like a pro, and he was really shit at the game. He was one of the worst paladins ever. He played the game so bad it would make your eyes bleed to the point where you would wish you were blind. That's how bad he was at piloting his character, okay? That's who this guy is, okay? Now, he was a Muppet back in the day. Somehow his career continued, and he has inside scoop when it comes to Blizzard matters. You know, congrats to him for sticking it out so long, for keeping the hustle going, for grinding it out. In my mind, it's like, you know, if you were back in the day 10 years ago, if you were a fully functioning adult and you sucked at the game really, really bad to the point where everyone was making fun of you on Twitch because you were so bad, kinda, you know, 10 years later, I kinda see you playing the Paladin and you still can't consecrate. After 10 fucking years, you can't place consecration. I'm kinda like, you know, thinking, yeah, you're kinda a Muppet. You know, you're a Muppet. You're a Muppet Prime. That's where you are. Now, he said we're getting Wrath Unleashed. Now, can we trust this Muppet? I don't know. I don't know, can we trust this Muppet or not? I personally think it's 50-50. Either it will happen, either it won't. I know it's a stupid comment to make. He said we're getting Wrath Classic Plus. We're getting Wrath Unleashed. I'm sorry, guys, but Barber options, I wipe my ass with that. Arena rating, you know, being personal, not having teams is the biggest thing we have so far. By far. That is the biggest thing that we have. Everything else is very, very, very much a meme. It is very much a meme, right? That's why I'm led to believe that he is indeed full of shit. I don't think that's the case. Why I also think that Blizzard is full of shit. Funky, I'm gonna read this out loud. This is a quote that I picked out that comes from Blizzard developers. And I'm gonna read the quote out loud for everyone. The Classic team is also looking at some adjustments to the raiding and lockout system, so players don't feel obligated to run 4 versions of the same raid per week to optimize their character. Okay, 4. The only time that can happen is in TOC patch, okay? In Nax, you have 10 and 25, period. Ulduar, you have 10 and 25. What happens inside stays inside. What happens in Ulduar stays in Ulduar, right? If you do a hard mode, if you trigger a hard mode, that's up to you. Some bosses don't have hard modes. Okay, XT does, and it's a toggleable. But then you have Razor Scale and Ignis, they don't have a hard mode. Ariaya, the crazy cat lady, she does not have a hard mode, okay? Like Hodir doesn't technically have a hard mode. Hodir has a kind of, you know, a timer, and if you are not shit at the game, you get extra loot. That's how it functions, right? Same goes for ICC, guys. In ICC, you have 10 and 25. Until you kill Lich King on normal, you don't do heroic. And after you kill Lich King on normal, you decide which boss you're gonna do on heroic and which not, right? Because it's a toggle option. You toggle it. You right click on your character portrait if you're the raid leader and you select normal and heroic. Which means that they're only talking about TOC patch. Now guess what, guys? TOC 25-man normal is a joke that you finish under an hour, 45 minutes. TOC 10-man is a catch-up raid that no one cares about unless you're on your alt. So you can TOC 10-man normal, forget it. It matters for the first 2-3 weeks. After that, you don't care about TOC 10-man normal, right? So you have TOC 10-man heroic that you finish in 45 minutes because TOC 10-man is relatively actually easy. It's going, not gonna lie, TOC 10-man heroic is easy. It's piss. So the only raid next to that is TOC 25-man. So with TOC 25-man normal and heroic, granted it being the same raid, but you do have those tries. Are you gonna wipe? Are you gonna be a Muppet or not? So it is kind of fun. You finish those 2 raids in an hour and a half. And after that, you have 25 heroic. So here is the question that I have. What for? You're not running 4. You're not running 4 raids. You really are not. They have no clue what the fuck they're talking about yet again. This is a quote from one of the classic devs that I pulled in the recent interview I did. I think it was with PC Mag. No, I'm lying. It was with IGN. That's where it comes from. And they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna be doing like lockout changes because, IGN interview. Yeah, guys, we understand our game. We are not doing 4 raids a week. It never happens. It doesn't exist. I don't know. Do you want to comment on this, Funky?
The whole the rating lockout system, so players don't feel obliged. All right. Let me gather my thoughts here. TOGC and TOC 10-man, all that. That's the only raid that's got 4 runs per week. Because back then they were experimenting with stuff. That's why you look at Tier 7. Naxxramas had 25 and 10-man content split, right, with different loot. We never had that in TBC. And then you go into Ulduar. What do we get in Ulduar? We got a 10 and a 25, but then we got hard modes that you had to do stuff to activate. Well, then Blizzard said, okay, well, people don't like activating the hard modes. They just want to do an entire raid of hard modes. Thus, TOGC and TOC, right? And they made each of those have a separate lockout. So for the normal version, you had 10 and 25 lockout, and the heroic version, you had a 10 and 25 lockout as well. And then they realized, okay, doing 4 raids a week, probably too much, and they fixed that in Icecrown Citadel. So why? Especially when TOC is the shortest raid, there's no trash to clear. Why wouldn't you have that be because you can literally finish that raid in 45 minutes. I mean, it's a joke of a raid. It's why it's, listed as one of the worst raids of all time. Blizzard, give credit to Blizzard, though. They tried something. They wanted to do something different. They tried it. It clearly didn't work. But why would you remove that? I don't understand, because the raid's bad enough as it is, but it's also like it doesn't take a long time to clear it anyways. It really doesn't. So it's stupid to me.
No, it is incredibly stupid, as I said, and this is what makes me believe that they do not understand their own game. They do not understand their own product on a fundamental level. Like, you cannot release this information out in the public and think that, like, people will not recognize it. Maybe, your closest fanboys that you don't ban, when they fake their rank 1 titles, or your closest little guys that, are actually buying gold and then having people pilot for them, your favorite little streamers that no one should talk about because they have friends in Blizzard. Maybe those guys are not going to point it out because they're not going to point where the shit stinks. But anyone who actually plays the game, guys, there's plenty of people like me. I'm not special. We could invite 15, 20, hundreds of players here on the podcast to discuss this with us, and they're going to say the same thing. What is this? This is stupid. They have no clue what they're doing. Once again, the TOC 10-man is a catch-up raid. It's not a serious raid. You're not raiding TOC 10-man normal, right? TOC 10. TOGC 10, maybe, there's, I think it's 2.5. I'm pretty sure it's 2.5.1 that you get the cloak at the end, and then the TOC 25 heroic, the cloak is 2.5.8. I think. No, it could be even higher than that, actually.
I think you're right. I think it's 2.5.8.
No, I know there's 2.5.8, but I think this heroic token, maybe. I don't know. I would need to look it up exactly. But it's different item level. It's the biggest item level possible are those cloaks, right? So yeah, the TOC 10-man doesn't drop any must-have trinkets. The TOC 10-man normal drops no significant loot, because all the loot that drops on 10-man heroic is better by default. Has one more gem slot, right? Has one more socket that you can put a gem in it. It makes no sense to make a statement and think just because you could do something doesn't mean you're gonna do it. Just because you can go to a gym 3 times a day, 7 days a week, doesn't mean you're going to do it, right? That's not how it works. Possibility doesn't necessarily correlate to the the probability of the thing happening. It's not how it works. And this is what every single private server Muppet knows. And this is what we are, Funky and myself included. Excuse me for speaking for both of us, but we're both private server Muppets. We're no one special. We're just players looking at the company. Well, veteran players, but players nonetheless. We're looking at the company putting out things out in the public that makes no sense. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are these statements? What are these quotes? Have you ever played your game before? Ask Ian. He's in the same building. Ask Ian. Hey, Ian, did you actually run 4 TOCs back in the day? And it's probably going to be like, nah, fuck no. We kind of ran 25 for the trinket, but that's about it. We kind of didn't give a shit about 10 man. So we kind of did for the plebs who sucked and needed gear. But yeah, no, it's mostly 25 man. It's kind of boring patch. Just ask Ian, guys. Why don't they ask Ian? I understand he doesn't have a lot of time, but I swear to God, ask the guy who works on retail. Or maybe they should swap places. Maybe they should make Ian the main developer. They should make Ian Hazakostas the overseer, the boss of Classic Wrath. Swear to God. I mean, trust, the best idea ever. I think that we would all benefit from him actually kind of making sure that Classic Wrath is not the meme project, because that I think it is right now. I feel like it is, to be honest. I feel like we're going to be getting a shit product sponsored by shit content creators, which we will be talking about we'll be talking about it in the next podcast. We're talking about Blizzard. We have to, every single podcast, we do have to talk about shit content creators because they are full of shit to the point where you cannot not talk about it. But yeah, someone said, Cold Knox said, I think it's a side of splits. Yeah, but splits happen all the time. Splits happen in Black Temple. Splits happen in Mount Hyjal. They're gonna be happening, you best believe they're happening on Kel'Thuzad. Right, Nax. They're happening on Malygos. Malygos drops 2-6 loot. They are 1,000,000% happening in Ulduar, right? And then some. Like, think about the trinkets from Ulduar, right? You're going to be splitting Ulduar from the get-go. You're going prog, and after that you're splitting both 10 and 25 Ulduars. Especially 25 Ulduars for your shards. You want to get that legendary mace on every single main healer. Except maybe Disco Priest, but even then, why not? They can go holy, right? On a different flight, why not have it? If you could have it on all 5 healers, why wouldn't you have it on 5 healers, right? Just makes sense, no?
No, it's dumb. The whole thing, the whole concept of it is just stupid.
It is very much. To kind of slowly wrap it up, and to foreshadow the next podcast, what we're going to be talking about, we will be talking about the worst, the baddest, the scummiest, the most delusional content creators that possibly exist. Yes, we are inviting trouble, we are inviting discord, we are inviting conflict for the sake of the truth. Big next podcast, episode 5, is going to be part 2 of their lying to us. In part 1, we covered Blizzard. We did talk about some people lying, but we talked about Blizzard and we shared our opinions. How at least also I shared my opinions. How they're incompetent as a developer. In the next one, we will be talking about people bringing you content which is factually incorrect. So if you like the show, guys, drop a follow, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hey, if you think that we're full of shit, leave a comment. I want to know why you think we're full of shit. Or if you agree with what we say, also share your opinion. The more opinions you share, the better. Voice your opinion. Your opinion matters. This is what I want to end on. Is your opinion actually matters. Your experience matters. Do not let Muppets, nobodies, dogshit content creators, and skillless developers tell you what's right, what's wrong. You pay actually a decent subscription fee. Your opinion matters, and it should always matter. The community's opinion matters, right? Not what they say, not what some fucking moron who played on a shit server thinks he's gonna put out there. None of them matter. There's plenty of morons out there making bullshit guides. Top 5 changes coming with Wrath of the Lich King. Top best items to get in Wrath of the Lich King. None of them matter, guys. None of these Muppets matter. These are nobodies. These are ghosts. These are faceless bodies spewing shit. Your opinion matters. You are who matters. The real community, the real players, the real raiders. That's what matters. None of these dumb fucks matter, even 1%. On that note, I bid you farewell. Keep your head high and have an enjoyable week. Catch you on the next one, part 2 of They're Lying to Us. Peace.